Welcome to the New York and Atlantic Model Railroad. I'm Dave Barraza. We're going to start our tour today with a cab ride on eastbound train 258 from Long Island City. Let's go.
J Tower.
Jay, this is number 258 at Long Island City with engine 229 and 4 cars.
258, I've got no orders, 1 clearance. Ready to copy?
Ready to copy.
Clearance card number 12, J Station, 5:15 p.m., December 21st, 2010. Train 258, engine 229 at Long Island City. Line 1, proceed east on C, secondary track to Bliss.
Clearance card number 12, J Station, 5:15 p.m., December 21st, 2010. Train 258, engine 229 at Long Island City. Line 1, proceed east on C secondary track to Bliss. Repeated, DCB.
Repeated 5:17 p.m. by DCB. Block operator JEG. Have a good trip.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Papers in order. And we've got a proper time and a hand signal from the conductor. We're off. Pulling out of Long Island City Yard. At the top of the ladder here is 11th Street crossing. And sidetrack on the left is the runaround track. And we've got the Hunters Point Avenue leads diverging away from us towards the backdrop. On the left there is the old case paper lead, which on this layout is the Fresh Direct lead. They took over that venue, although they're not rail served in reality. And that sign tells us we're entering C secondary, which is why we have our clearance card. And we're in the middle of our first turnback blob. This broad left turn takes us from outside the 2 main aisles of the layout into the main layout operating area. Those tank cars belong to Healthy Brand Oils. They're one of the 3 customers in Wheelspur, which is where we are now. Double end freight track is on the left. The house track is immediately to our right with Healthy Brand. And on the river track, you have Sherwood Lumber and Yangming Trading. This is DB Drawbridge over Dutch Kills Creek. Future home of. The bridge under construction is behind the loco there. Now we're at the west end of Blissfield Yard. Blissfield Yard is a 3-track storage yard. Off-spot cars for Wheelspur can be here. Off-spot cars for Waste Management and Bliss can be here. Currently there's a cut of construction debris gondolas destined for coastal distribution in Farmingdale, which is here because Fresh Pond is all full up. RS 100 can duck out of the way of scheduled trains here, and they can also classify their cars, block their cars here if they like. That's the Montauk cutoff coming in from above and behind our loco. They're going to come in right before we get to Bliss. Here we are at Bliss. This is the switch between single main track and eastward and westward mains. That's Allied Extruders over on the left. And we're about to pass the end of block sign, which means pretty soon we should do our duty and call clear to J.
Long Island 258 calling J Tower.
J answering 258.
258 is clear of C secondary at Bliss.
258 clear secondary track at Bliss. Thanks.
That track coming from the left is the staging lead. It's the only way I could handle the fact that the line from the Hellgate Bridge actually comes into Fresh Pond over an overpass. Completely impractical to build if you're ever going to have an aisle of any type in your layout. We're passing through Fresh Pond Yard. There's the body of the west tracks between us and the train. And on the right here, we have got some New York and Atlantic power ready to go. There's a small engine house, a John Farraca build. And we've got the ladder to the east storage tracks. It looks like we got some empty gondolas coming back from the aggregates train there. I'm going to descend now. This is a part of the layout that gives a lot of operators a little trouble. These tracks are going to pass through Glendale, or a piece of paper representing Glendale. And then they're going to disappear. We're going to actually run underneath a turnback loop that represents fictional New York. So a lot of guys lose their train here, which is why I'm pointing it out. We're underneath New York Penn. Once we get around the corner here, we'll be approaching J Tower in Jamaica.
J Tower, you have 258 approaching.
You're lined up into track 4.
258 into track 4. Thanks.
The control console here is part of NMRA suite of programs. We're going to get more looks at that later. Currently, the train moving to the left of us is number 1350, which is our connection from Penn Station. Since we're a diesel train, we have an electric connection that runs out. 1300 series trains only run in Jamaica, so I guess we must be like super special. 1350 is going to empty out. They're probably going to run it into Yard E and then relay it back to New York. And there's 760. He's going to also make a connection with us at Jamaica. And here's the operator giving us our lineup to go east.
Long Island train 258, coming to J.
J, go for 258.
258, you're good up the hill through Queens to Divide.
258, good to go. Have a good night.
Up the hill has snuck into the vernacular on this railroad. It's got nothing to do with prototype on Long Island. But there's a Helix, and it's the ruling grade on the layout. So everybody seems to know what everybody means when they say up the hill. There's 1350 rocketing back to West Side Yard as 4351. You can see 760 up ahead of us. He's going to make a stop at Queens Village.
Divide, well, the work is done.
Divide, J. Next to you, running eastbound on track 1, is number 258.
258 and 1, all right, okay.
There's 760. We can take these crossovers pretty fast. These are number 24s, which I had to hand lay since you can't buy those. But the real Queens does have very, very long turnouts, number 32.7. So it's a prototype. So this is a place kind of like a little raceway where the operators can really let fly. As the prototype does going through Queens. Both trains are pulling into Floral Park now. We're gonna make a little diversion here. There's another Another thing that a lot of people get screwed up on, you get the main line with the diesel going off to the left, and the electric, the MP54, is turning south out of Floral Park, which is correct. He's going to go down the Helix on the Hempstead branch, while the mainline train goes up the Helix, up the hill as I mentioned. The MP54s, they're a Hempstead train, so logically they're headed east towards Hempstead. This is a place for trains to go to increase the traffic in Jamaica. And I hit upon the idea where if I connected Hempstead and Valley on the Montauk branch, as they were back in the day via West Hempstead, that would be a great way to have a little continuous running connection and also really heighten the amount of traffic that's gonna run through Jamaica, which is one of the ways you make Jamaica seem like Jamaica. So this connecting track here, which will someday be hidden, is connecting Hempstead to Valley. At the end of the 3-track section where the stored cars end is logically Valley on the railroad. And from there, we've reached the East Pole, and now we're going to travel west. So this train is now on Atlantic Track 1. He's going to pass under the main line and pop up by Yard E, and we're back in Jamaica. That's Yard E with the RDC cars on it. And now we are westbound through Jamaica. And anyway, this is a great place to break equipment in, or when I just want to sit back and watch trains run. I set this loop up and crank the throttle. That's the westbound Montauk. It's going down between the mainline tracks, which is kind of the way Jamaica's laid out. J is laid out in real life. And he's disappearing into the New York loops. Inside the loop there's an 8-track staging yard which simulates Penn Station West Side Yard. And here's our diesel train. We're back aboard our train 258 now, and there is 1716 local train to Huntington, which we are going to pass and then probably meet at Hicksville.
Divide coming for Long Island train 258.
Divide answering 258.
258 is approaching Divide 1.
258 is the station on Felix.
Okay, 258 to Hicksville Station.
So Jay called Divide. He was ready for us. It's still good protocol to give a call on the radio at the top of the Helix because there's no signals till you get to Farmingdale, and it is a little bit of a complicated area. 1716's racing us. We're running eastbound on what is nominally the westbound track, but it's rush hour, so this is how they do it. Hicksville secondary is behind us with a lot of freight customers representing many of the freight customers on the main line condensed into a small space. And we're coming into Hicksville Station. Looks like there's a westbound there on track 3. He's probably going to be an equipment move back to Penn. 1716 will probably wait for us here. Here's the Divide operator. Give is going to line up from Hicksville to Farm, and then Farm into single track east of there.
258 answering Divide.
258 is either Farmingdale and go on signal indication.
Farmingdale, then on signals. Thanks, Divide.
Alright, well there's 4253 headed west, and we're headed east. Once we cross in front of the Huntington train, he'll probably get the lineup and head to Huntington, which is currently a 3-track staging yard, just to the right, just around the curve out of Hicksville. There he goes. Must be his last run because he's definitely got it on the post. And we're going to cross over at Divide 6 from running east on Mainline 1 to east on Mainline 2, which is the quote-unquote normal way. And we're going to make local stops from here. Here we are headed down the grade off the embankment. Secatog Avenue is going to be a grade crossing coming up. Right after Secretog is Farmingdale Station. That is a gorgeous kit bash of Farmingdale Station done by Mr. John Faraka, MMR. The train on the north track to our left, that's used to be 2350. He's about to come west as 5351. Equipment moved back to New York. There he goes. It's Long Island. Everybody wants to go home. We don't have to pause for very long at any of these stations. Everybody knows the drill. And you should be wheels turning. There we go. That's Margam Lumber. They really do have an enclosure made out of shipping containers there. And that's their siding. That's the electric lock switch. We are approaching the bridge over Route 110, and that's right by Farm 2, where we've got a clear, which we knocked down. That's Basilico Materials behind the train, mainly aggregates, also clay slurry. Crossing New Highway, we see Coastal Distribution with some loaded construction debris cars. And we're going around the turnback blob. We're over New York, where we went around the turn before in Hidden Track. This is the end of the Farmingdale double-in freight track. Block signal location in Wellwood Avenue, which means that is the platform for Pine Lawn. This is my 0.1% scenery. Again, thanks to Mr. John Faraka. That's PC Richards siding down below with the loaded aggregates cars. Very steep siding coming up of there. It's the old layout before they put the second track in, so right coming into Comac Road. Very steep, very tight curve. This is Rock Tin Container, which shouldn't be anywhere near the main line, but I've folded the layout back on itself because yes, we're at the end of another aisle and we have a sharp turn coming into JS interlocking. This is JS, and right after JS we've got the lead to Rock 10, and this is Deer Park Station. It's Grant Avenue crossing, under construction. We're about to leave. Must be a quiet zone because I don't hear the horn. You're going to see Pilgrim Switch. It used to be associated with the state hospital, but now it's what the nomenclature is for the switch, the west end of Pioneer Double-End Freight, crossing under the Zacatecas Expressway, and you see cars in Pioneer. Pioneer's pretty full. That means RS-50 must have showed up. It's a little mini yard where they can classify freight service to the east of here. Pioneer Double-In Freight ends at a switch which is called Pioneer, which leads us right into Brentwood. I thought we were like some flag waver, big premier, super express train, but clearly no battle plan survives contact with the enemy. We're at a stop signal here at Brent Interlocking for some reason. I'm not sure what that reason is. Man, RS-71. The only reason they're letting these guys through is because they're probably so late they're about to run out on their hours of service. You shouldn't be coming back at 6 p.m. But there he is. Marker lights. Train is complete. Divide is on it. He was waiting for him to clear. We're going to get the lineup, and he'll click on the virtual toggle switch to say that we're in the block book, 261, controlled manual block. There's our clear block signal, vertical with the marker lamp. And we're going through Brent up to Helix. The Helix was devised engineered by Ron Engel. And we built it using his wood shop. And it's come out very nice. It's the most accurate, consistently curved Helix that I've built in my 3 attempts. So I got to give respect. If you ever get a chance to hear Ron's clinic on how he builds a Helix, well worth it. Well worth it. This is Ronkonkoma. This is Ronkonkoma signal KO11E with an approach. Approach because we're headed into the station, which is the end of signal track right now. That's certified siding on the left. And number 12 switch takes us back into 2 leads towards the station. That's 112 crossover. And we're coming into Ronkonkoma station. It looks like we got a yard move coming out for westbound electric. Since we were the last train that went east on track 1, there's a lot of westbound moves that refill the system in New York immediately after we pass these points. Alright, we have the up and down from the switchman and we're good to go in. This is the newest part of the layout here. A lot of these tracks are storing equipment that should go to industries that are further east that just aren't part of the layout yet.
Divide, number 258 is tied up in Ronkonkoma Yard, track 1 with engine 229 and 4 cars.
229, 4 cars. Thank you, bye.
Okay, bye.